Hello, hello, welcome. This is Playthings and Placeholders. We're going to be doing a series on the show The Golden Bachelor. So The Golden Bachelor is an American dating reality television series on ABC and Hulu. It stars 72-year-old Gary Turner. He's a retired restaurateur and widower from Hudson, Indiana. So the reason why we're going to choose this as a series to do reviews, reactions, and discuss is because a lot of us are having problems with dating, getting married, staying married, being happy, and a lot of us are going to, if we live long enough, we're going to be dating and interacting with people well into our 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s. Some would say that's a bad thing. Some would say it's a good thing. Others would say it's just a thing. And we're going to attack it as just a thing. So on this show, a lot of these people, based off what I've seen, they have had ups and downs with life and relationships, but they don't really come across as toxic. Gary's retired and he's doing well for himself. There's 22 contestants. A lot of them are retired. Some of them are still working. Everybody is 60 plus. So the ones who are still working, based off of first impression, it appears that they're doing okay financially. I mean, just kind of looking at their professions. I mean, you never really know these days because somebody could have debt that they can't handle, expenses out the wazoo, but when they go in public, they're dressed nice, they act nice, they look nice. So we're going to assume that everybody is doing okay financially, especially since they're working. They're getting close to retirement age. So with that being said, a lot of us who are going to be in our golden years meeting people, a lot of us are not going to be doing okay financially. We're going to be either struggling, still having to work well into the golden years. You're also going to have a lot of people who are doing okay, but don't want to be involved with someone who is also in there or going into their golden years and they're struggling. So to me, money is a really big factor. And also another factor is unresolved issues through life. It's one thing if you're 30 or 35 and you meet someone that has unresolved childhood issues, past relationship issues, this drama, that drama, they got children, they got family tugging at them. But when you're talking about 60 plus, and you have problems that have occurred over the course of your life, you're more than likely going to be dealing with those problems all the way till you're in the grave.
And another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust.
So this show would give us a chance to look at positive dating, positive interaction, and give optimism for actually having decent, wholesome, and truthful connections that can possibly blossom into something great.
I'm Gary. Tonight is the first day of the rest of my life.
I've sat upon the setting sun, but never, I never wanted water.
How lucky would I be to find a second true love?
Looking at the picture of his deceased wife, there's going to be somewhat of an idea that, let's say if somebody's been married for a long time, they may be used to the other person. So you may be entering into someone's life and you're going to spend the rest of your life or their life being somewhat second fiddle to someone else's shadow. So because Gary and his wife were married for so long, any woman that comes in is going to be compared to the ex-wife. So you have to be prepared and ready for that. It's unfair. It sucks because she's not here. But in his mind, he probably thinks about her and has gotten used to her being around to where he still feels like her presence is there. So you're going to have to deal with that, his feelings for her, being compared to her, and ultimately falling short of her in a lot of different areas. And if you can't accept that, the contestants are going to have to maybe eliminate themselves, or if they're picked at the very end and they realize, you know what, I can't live up to the expectations of her, they're going to have to understand that this connection is not right for them. Looking at this show, when I first heard about it, my first thought is, ain't no way. What I mean is, I just never really thought about dating past 55. When you're in your golden years, you're either living in like a house, maybe by yourself or with family or at a retirement home. It just seems like meeting someone new, there's always the risk that this person may pass away or you pass away before you guys really get started. So this should be very interesting to see the interactions, and I just wouldn't want to meet someone or date someone in our golden years and this person is telling me that they are still have pictures of their ex, they're still thinking about their ex, I'm being compared to their ex. I don't want to do it. I don't know. Other people might be different. Let me know in the comment section if you're in your golden years and you're like, you know what? I met someone in my golden years. We've been together for a year plus. We're happy. It works. Then that'll give the rest of us, I guess, light at the end of the tunnel.
43 years of marriage to my high school sweetheart.
Wow. 43 years to the high school sweetheart. Dude is 72. They got married at age 29. He says high school sweetheart. So basically, unless someone stepped out on another or they had breaks, he's only been with, unless he says otherwise, he's only been with one woman. Some would say this is a good thing because you don't have that many people to be compared to, not many people to have unresolved issues from previous relationships from. But if he's only been with really one woman and he's been married for that amount of time, I think he's incapable of truly moving on and having a connection. He's just really looking for a placeholder, someone to accompany him in his last years. But I don't think it's really going to be much of a connection where he's going to say, I no longer think about my ex-wife. I think about you. I love you, and actually mean it. That's a long time to be with someone and not have residual. So anybody who he does pick or anyone who does get with him, you're just a placeholder. And he may be a placeholder for you because you're both in your golden years. This is wild. I mean, can you imagine they've spent a lifetime together and now what would be the expectation for you? Companionship, to go out to restaurants, go out to dinner, go out for events and stuff. I mean, that's really all you're going to be signing up for, is someone to be his plus one so he's not alone.
I listen to my words, but they fall far below.
I married Tony in 1972.
I let my music take me where my heart wants.
We had 43 wonderful years together. We had a real typical but beautiful life, full of love, full of activity. And as years went on, I retired. We had a plan, and we had an idea of what our dream house was going to be. So when Tony retired at the end of May in 2017.
She retired 2017. They bought the dream house. That's the dream house right there. So anyone that he meets, I'm here to tell you, anyone that he meets, she needs to be retired herself and doing well financially. And you have to have a discussion. Are we going to be living in the house that you and your wife had as a dream home or a retirement home? He may be moving you into the house that he got for another woman. And you might be like, I don't have a problem with that. And if you don't, that's great. But I think that just looking at the contestants, all 22 of them, some of them are still working and they're past age 60. So that's probably going to be a problem. That if someone is not retired and doing well like he is, if they're not debt free, that's going to be a huge problem.
We bought that dream house, closed on it on June 6th. From June 6th on, it didn't go according to plan at all. She became ill.
So now he's got this house. He's going to move you in the house. They more than likely have a 30-year mortgage. That house is going to outlive him, that he's going to move you into. I understand you want someone who's in their golden years as well, but if he really does not want stuff to go to waste, he really should be dating somebody younger. And the reason I say that is because let's say he meets someone, they get married, they're together. If he gets with someone and marries someone who is still working, that person may be saddled with the debt of this house. that they have to pay for a long time. Do you really want to take that on if you're working, you're 60 plus, and now you're being moved into this house he had with his wife that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with? Are you prepared to take over the house if something happens to him? I don't know. That's a lot. I mean, I hope the show kind of goes into aspects like that and not just has them go on dates, because in my opinion, when you're dealing with somebody that when you meet them, they have a house with a mortgage, they're retired, they were married to someone who was retired, you may not even qualify to be with this guy, or this guy may not be in the best condition to really date someone or marry them and actually have a productive life.
And her situation got worse over a couple of weeks. It was July 7th, and I said, Tony, we're going to the emergency room. And so we went to the local emergency room, and she had a bacterial infection. And at one point I counted 13 IV bottles, and I go, my God, what's going on? That bacterial infection infected her kidneys, infected her liver. And so I took my wife to the emergency room on July 7th, and she never came home. She passed away on July 15th.
He's not even over her. I understand, he should be sad. He has a right to be sad. But dude is not even over her. Like, what more can you really expect from a guy who was with her that many years and he's still, hung up and crying about her? You have to just accept and be prepared that you're just a placeholder. You're meeting him, you like him, and you're just helping him live the rest of his years. More than likely, he's going to be mentioning his ex-wife over and over and over again.
Every time I look at that lake, I go, this is her dream. This is what she deserves. Why am I standing here alone? It will be 6 years.
See, it's 6 years from when she passed away. He's saying that the home, the lake, all of that was for her. So if you move into his place, if you move in with him, you're basically stepping into her shoes and you're taking her place, i.e., you're the placeholder. You're never going to be her. He's never going to love you like he loved her, because dude is 70. It's mathematically impossible for him to give you the same number of years that he gave her. So with that being said, you got to go in with the idea that you don't want to be alone and you're willing to help this guy live out the remainder of his years, being compared to his wife, taking her place. And now it's whatever reason or whatever he can give you. Do you want that? Because you may be in the same boat where you're like, I've never been married, and this is my last call. Last call, the train's leaving the station, this is my last chance. Or maybe you've had several husbands. Maybe some of the contestants have had several husbands, and now it's like, this is my last chance. This guy and I gotta work. With the contestants, all 22 of them, and minus the ones that got eliminated, 1, 2, there's like 6 of them, minus the 6 that got eliminated. We're not going to really include those. So the 16 ones that are left, are they in a place in their life where they can actually love and be loved?
Since Tony passed away, no one's ever going to replace Tony.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.